The U.S. National Ocean Service estimates that 80% of the world's oceans have yet to be studied or mapped. This is despite water making up more than 70% of the Earth's surface. To sum up, the ocean is filled with all sorts of bizarre creatures. Technological advances mean that each year, scientists learn more and more incredible things about the natural world, from unexpected geological structures and natural phenomena to species that defy conception. Many of the sea's most spectacular sights weren't even born in the ocean. Amazing artificial artifacts lie dormant in the ocean below, such as sunken ships, lost cities, and hidden wealth. But of course, not everything has a hidden location. All across the world, people have found all sorts of strange and fascinating objects washed up on the shore. Whether it's letters from a lover, whale poop, or a life-sized Lego man, artifacts like these always seem to spark debate and, in some cases, reveal answers to perplexing issues. Keep watching to see the most astonishing things found underwater. Apollo 11 submerged propulsion systems, the Saturn V rocket engines that propelled Neil Armstrong into space during the Apollo 11 mission, were located off the coast of Florida, some 14,000 feet underwater, after being lost for 43 years. This extraordinary collection of modern artifacts was uncovered by none other than Jeff Bezos, CEO of Amazon, who also provided funding for the expedition. Turns out Bezos is a bit of a space nerd. The Apollo 11 mission inspired him to pursue a career in research and engineering, according to The Guardian. Floating skulls found in a Mexican sinkhole. Sac-Guayam is a cenote on the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. Locals avoided this area at all costs, and in 2012, a group of divers finally figured out why. Human bones, including malformed skulls, were found strewn across the floor of two cenote chambers during a recent underwater exploration. According to National Geographic, human sacrifice is a possible explanation for how the skulls ended there. Skulls were flattened on top because it was a deliberate deformation technique used by the ancient Maya, so it's no wonder people in the area felt uneasy. Located below the waves, Dwarka, the lost city. For Hindus, the city of Dwarka is a holy site known as Adana, making it one of the most extensively researched Indian dive sites. According to Sanskrit literature, Lord Krishna is said to have established the city of Dwarka. The New Indian Express reports that the site, which is located on the western coast of the Indian state of Gujarat, is at least 9,000 years old. This puts it at least 4,000 years before the earliest known Indian civilization. Submerged, silver worth £150 million. In 2011, the SS Gersapa was founded by Odyssey Marine, a deep-sea exploration company based in the United States. After serving the British Ministry of War Transport in India, the cargo ship was destroyed by a German U-boat off the coast of Ireland in 1941. The BBC reports that almost 110 metric tons of silver, estimated at £150 million, have been salvaged from the vessel. After deducting all costs, Odyssey Marine will take 80% of the haul, while 20% goes to the British government. The 2,400-year-old submerged ship in the Black Sea, more than a mile below the surface of the Black Sea, off the Bulgarian coast, archaeologists in 2018 uncovered a remarkable discovery: the world's oldest undamaged shipwreck. The Guardian has calculated that the age of the remarkably well-preserved watercraft is roughly 2,400 years. The ancient Greek ship is 23 meters in length, and thanks to the lack of oxygen at such a great depth, every last detail, including the mast, rudders, rowing benches, and more, remains in pristine condition. Deep in the ocean, in the Marianas Trench. When it comes to the waters, the Mariana Trench is the deepest point on Earth. According to some measurements, it's 6.8 miles deep at its deepest point and 5 times as long as the Grand Canyon. In 1875, a weighted rope was used to sound the trench, but it was in 1960 that the first attempt was made to descend. 3 more have followed, the most recent in 2012 from Canadian filmmaker James Cameron. In his submersible, Deep Sea Challenger, he descended to the trench's bottom. Since so little is known about the trench, it is also home to some of the world's most strange animals. In the deep, a Greek computer from antiquity. Although divers found the Antikythera mechanism in 1901, It took scientists the better part of a century to determine its purpose. It turns out to be a Greek analog computer from antiquity. Scientists have deciphered the device, around the size of a mantle clock, with the use of X-ray equipment. According to Smithsonian Magazine, they used a high-tech calendar and computer to create a map of the solar and lunar calendars. The number of days left until the next Olympics could be displayed. This is the train graveyard of New Jersey, submerged. Under 90 feet of water, archaeologists off the coast of New Jersey discovered two extremely rare steam trains in pristine condition. The Daily Mail reports that the locomotives date back to the 1850s, and their mysterious seafloor location has left experts baffled. No documentation exists regarding the construction or disappearance of these trains, although it's possible they were pushed overboard during a storm while being transported by a barge. Stonehenge, a submerged landmark in Lake Michigan, an underwater replica of Stonehenge, is one of the least likely things to be found at the depths of Lake Michigan. However, Northwestern Michigan College underwater archaeology professor Mark Hawley found a curious circle of stones in the lake 40 feet below the surface in 2007. And according to NBC Chicago, the most interesting part is that one of the stones appears to be etched with what looks like the picture of a mastodon, an elephant-like species that became extinct around 10,000 years ago. The site's true nature, however, remains unknown without additional digging. Hispaniola, the lost city of Heracleion. According to The Guardian, the ancient city of Heracleion was only mentioned in a handful of obscure inscriptions and literature before its discovery in 2000. So Frank Gaudio, an archaeologist, looked for the genuinely lost city, which he believed to be off the shore of Egypt. He used cutting-edge equipment for underwater screening to locate it buried 6.5 kilometers from shore. Found in the rubble were the remains of 64 ships, 700 anchors, a gold coin treasury, and 16-foot statues. The Sulphur Split, deep in the ocean. Have you ever considered scuba diving in the chasm separating Asia from North America? All right, sure. And who among us hasn't? This may sound impossible, but it is entirely possible at the Sulphur Crack in Iceland's Thingvellir National Park. The Sulphur Rift was created at the point where the North American and Eurasian tectonic plates began to drift apart by around 2 centimeters each year. The Huffington Post claims the rift's water is some of the purest in the world, making it a top tourist destination in Iceland. The Baltic Sea Anomaly. Some people on the internet have been quick to declare the Baltic Sea Anomaly as a probable UFO discovery because it resembles the Millennium Falcon. Still, no one knows for sure what it is. While scientists from Stockholm University analyzed samples and decided that it is simply a glacial deposit, the Swedish-based Ocean X team still needs to be convinced, as reported by Live Science. It has not been possible to explain the mystery so far. Yonaguni, Japan's mysterious submerged complex. This ancient building, found in 1985 by a dive tour operator, has caused much disagreement among experts. Marine geologist Masaki Kimura from the Japan's University of the Ryukyus thinks it could be the sunken remains of a Japanese Atlantis from 2,000 years ago. This theory was published in National Geographic, but some scientists are skeptical, saying they can't be sure it wasn't formed naturally. The argument continues. Apocalyptic warning. The Ice Finger of Death. Named the Ice Finger of Death, it certainly conjures up some foreboding imagery. But truth be told, as they are more frequently known, brinicles are more interesting than frightening. These icicles, first spotted in the 1960s, occur when sea ice breaks and salty water spills out. Saline water is denser than the surrounding water, so it sinks to the ocean floor and freezes any fresh water that comes into contact with it. Its ominous moniker originates from the fact that brinicles devour everything in their path once they reach the ocean floor, including sea urchins and starfish. Scientists believe these brinicles may even create habitable environments on other planets and moons, such as Jupiter's Ganymede, as reported by MNN. Do like, share, subscribe, and share in the comments which one you find the most shocking. See you in the next video.